Hello friends, today we will discuss about 20 important questions related to Active Directory. What do you understand by read master? A read master stands for a relative identifier master. It is used to assign unique IDs to the object created in the Active Directory. What do you understand by infrastructure master? The role of infrastructure master is to update references from objects in the local domain to objects in other domains. There can be only one infrastructure master DC in each domain. In other words, we can say that the infrastructure master is accountable for updating information about the user and group and global catalog. What do you understand by organizational units? An organizational unit is a design factor that impacts policy, security, competence, and the charge of administration. Organizational units are a kind of LDAP port that can reflect as a subdomain element with comparable properties in domains. What is the use of Active Directory Recycle Bin? The Active Directory Recycle Bin is a characteristic of Windows Server 2008 Active Directory. It is used to re-establish by chance deleted Active Directory objects without using a backup AD database, rebooting area controller. What do you understand by domain trees and forests? Domain trees and forests both are two important concepts of Active Directory domain tree. A domain tree is a collection of one or more domains that share a common namespace. For example, jobs.carrier.com and carrier.com, both domains are a part of the carrier.domain domain tree, carrier.com domain tree. If the domain you create doesn't contain the full name of the parent domain or forest root domain, it is considered part of a separate domain tree. A forest is a collection of one or more domain trees. The domains in the carrier.com domain tree and the colleges.com domain tree could be part of the same forest. A domain tree is based on a common namespace, but a forest is not. A forest is named after the first domain created in the forest. Suppose carrier.com is the first domain created, then the forest is automatically named carrier.com. Later, you can create additional domains for jobs.carrier.com and colleges.com, all belonging to the carrier.com forest. What is the purpose of replication in Active Directory? The main purpose of replication is to share the data stored within the index throughout the organization for amplified availability, performance, and data defense. What are the different ports used by Active Directory? RPC Endpoint Manager Mapper, RPC Endpoint Mapper, port number 135, TCP UDP. NetBIOS Name Service, port 137. NetBIOS Datagram Service port 138, NetBIOS Session Service port 139, SMB over IP Microsoft DS port 445, LDAP port 389, LDAP over SSL port 636, Global Catalog LDAP port 3268, Global Catalog LDAP over SSL port 3269, Kerberos port 88, DNS port 53, Wins Resolution port 1512, Wins Replication 42, RPC Dynamically Assigned Ports TCP unless restricted. What are the best tools that you would like to use to edit AD? The AD SIEdit.msc is one of the best low-level editing tools for Active Directory. It is a Microsoft Management Console plugin with a graphical user interface that facilitates administrators to do simple tasks such as adding, editing, and deleting objects within a directory service. The ADSI edit.msc tool uses application programming interfaces to access the Active Directory, which program is used to manage trust relationship from the command prompt. The netdump.exe is a program or a command line application within Active Directory which administrators use to manage the Active Directory. This application facilitates administrators to manage trust relationships within Active Directory from the command prompt. It also allows administrators to join computers to domains for batch management of trusts and verify trusts and secure Active Directory channels. What is the full form of SID? SID. Why is it used? SID stands for Security Identifier. It is a unique variable length identifier used to recognize a trustee or a refuse principal. What do you understand by PTC emulator? How do how would one know whether the PTC emulator is working or not? PTC emulators are used as a tiebreaker and control the time sync across the domain. There is one PTC emulator per domain, and when there is a failed authentication attempt, it is forwarded to the PTC emulator. Following are some parameters through which we can know whether the PTC emulator is working or not. If time is not syncing, if users' accounts are not logged out, if Windows NT VDCs are not getting updates, if pre-Windows 2000 computers are unable to change their passwords. What is Active Directory schema? Active Directory schema is the blueprint of an Active Directory network. All the objects created in an Active Directory network reference the Active Directory schema for its object type. What are the different components of Active Directory schema? Objects. Objects are the entities that Active Directory uses to store information about the resources in its network. In Active Directory, objects are used as references to the resources in the network. For example, if a computer belongs to the Active Directory network, there would be a computer object that will represent this computer in real life. The computer object will also store some information about the computer, such as operating system, running status, etc. Classes. In an Active Directory schema, attributes are grouped and categorized into object classes. Object classes are therefore hierarchical classifications of object definitions. There are three types of classes in an Active Directory schema: abstract class, structural class, auxiliary class. Attributes. Attributes are the entities that are used to store information about the objects in the Active Directory environment. For example, a user object can have attributes such as their first name, last name, telephone number, address, and other attributes that store data about the user. Some attributes also store information about other attributes than the object itself. There are several types of attributes such as linked attributes, indexed attributes, and global attributes. What are the newly added features in Active Directory of Windows Server 2012? Following is a list. Okay, DC Promo with the improved wizard, enhanced administrative center, recycle bin goes GUI, fine grained password policies, Windows PowerShell history viewer. DC Promo with the improved wizard. It facilitates users to view all the steps and review the details results during the installation process. Enhanced Administrative Center. In the new version of Windows 2012, the Administrative Center is well designed compared to the earlier version of the Active Directory. The Exchange Management Console is well designed. Recycle Bin goes GUI. The Windows Server 12 provides so many ways to enable the Active Directory to recycle bin through the GUI in the Active Directory Administrative Center, which was not possible in the earlier version. Fine-grained password policies. Implementing fine-grained password policy is much easier in Windows Server 12 than in the earlier versions. It also facilitates us to create different password policies in the same domain. Windows PowerShell History Viewer. It is also it also provides Windows PowerShell commands related to the actions executed in the Active Directory Administrative Center UI. What system state data contains? A registry, stata files, system files, registration database, memory page file, AD information, sysfile folder, cluster service information, etc. What are the main components of Active Directory? Physical structure, logical structure. Physical structure contains the domain controller and sites. Logical structure contains trees, forest, domains, and OU. What do you understand by tungsten lifestyle? The tungsten lifestyle is used to determine how long a deleted object is retained in Active Directory. The deleted objects in Active Directory are stored in a special object called tungsten. By default, Windows uses a 60-day tombstone lifetime if time is not set in the forest configuration. What do you understand by a child DC or CDC? CDC or child DC stands for Child Domain Controller. It is subdomain controller under the root domain controller which is used to share a namespace. What is the full form of APIPA? Why is it used? APIPA stands for Automatic Private IP Addressing. It is a prominent feature of Windows 98, 98 SE, ME, and 2000. It is used to automatically assign an Internet Protocol address to a computer on which it is installed. What do you understand by read master? Read master stands for Relative Identifier Master. It is used to assign unique IDs to the object created in Active Directory. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Thank you. Till then, goodbye.